Hi, so this is the Watch K2 Pro from ZTE, which is basically a communications watch to put on your child's arm, so I'm going to go with it, can communicate with you and you can communicate with it. The K2 is also the successor to the fairly decent K1 Pro that I tested last year. A review of that one in the video description and up the top here. Starting with the design, the K2 Pro that comes in 3 color variants, black, pink and blue, has absolutely taken a step forward compared to its predecessor and features more rounded edges and just feels more comfortable overall to wear on the wrist. The thickness, however, still remains pretty substantial, and at a whole of 15.5 millimeters, the watch still has a very large footprint on smaller wrists, which is definitely something to keep in mind before an eventual purchase. Moving on, the screen has been slightly reduced in size from 1.83 inch on the first model to 1.4 inch here. However, with everyday use, it still delivers both fairly sufficient brightness as well as decent viewing angles. Something me and my 6-year-old tester missed here though was an automatic light sensor. As it is right now, brightness have to be adjusted manually, which can be a little tedious. As for getting started with the watch, it's still a pretty straightforward process. Insert a nano SIM card with any mobile subscription tied to it and you're good to go. Here the little tray for the SIM card can now not be opened with just your fingernails, something that was indeed a bit of a concern on the previous model. The watch supports 4G and gets linked to the ZTE Kids app during the setup by scanning a QR code with your phone. Here the fact that you are indeed free to use any mobile operator you want with the watch is still a major plus over some other similar watches. On the connectivity side, you get audio calls, voice and text messages through the app, and even video calls with a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. For quick chats and check-ins, the camera quality is acceptable, though it's not spectacular in any way. Through the app, you can also add which contacts should be able to communicate with the watch and if it should accept calls from anyone or just the added contacts. On the tracking side, the watch features a built-in GPS and is also capable of sending out notifications to parents when your child enters or leaves a safe or danger zone. Tracking precision is decent, however the update intervals can be a bit long even on the most battery-consuming settings, and the precision can also drift a fair bit when inside of buildings. For the safe zone alerts to show up, there is sometimes a 5 to 10 minutes delay, which I do feel could be better. However, opening up the app and asking it to pinpoint the watch's position has always worked without any hiccups, so for tracking I'd say the watch is decent. Other than that, the watch itself offers a bit more functionality with basic, as in not super precise, step counting, weather and timer functionality. Through the app you can also set up reminders and small tasks for your child to complete, which is a fun addition, although not something I imagine everyone will use that frequently. When it comes to performance, the watch is decent, but there is definitely some lag and choppiness here and there, so do not expect a perfectly smooth touch experience interacting with it. As for the app, just like it was a year ago, it can definitely still use some more love and feels a bit cluttered, as well as that the English translation sometimes makes you more confused than you need to be. There is a bit less choppiness compared to when I tested the K1 Pro, but I would definitely say that the app does indeed needs more work to really shine. For battery life, with the normal use, we've been able to get about 2-3 days out of the watch in between charges, though heavy use of video calls and screen on time does shorten that a fair bit. On the positive side, when it comes to charging though, the magnets in the included charger are decently strong and keeps the watch firmly in place during charging. So all in all, the ZTE Watch K2 Pro is a decent GPS and communications watch for your child. The free to use whatever subscription you want is a nice plus, and the design changes with a more rounded body and better SIM card tray are welcome additions from the previous model. However, as for news, there isn't really a whole lot here, and both the app and the watch itself, especially the interface and the speed of the navigation, does need more work. However, with those things in mind, and as a communications watch for your child, the Watch K2 Pro is fair. Do not though expect a perfectly polished experience, but at least a fairly stable one when it comes to tracking and communication. Alright, those are my thoughts on the ZTE Watch K2 Pro. Please share any of your thoughts or questions in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching. Bye!